Okay, today my goal is to draw a 2-point of the kitchen from this floor plan here. I have an island in the middle, I have a refrigerator centered on this middle line here. I've X'd across the floor plan so that I can find the center. And I'll also be drawing these X's in later. Looks like I've got a counter and a stove over here. I have drawn this up once in a 1-point to help me get a better understanding of what's going on in that room. So that gives me a visual on that. I also have an example of a 2-point here. So this is shot over into this corner here. Therefore, I'm going to turn my floor plan this way so that I'm looking into this corner as I'm drawing, understanding that my station point is going to be out here by this door. And I'm looking in that way across this table. So every line that goes this direction in the floor plan will go to vanishing point right, and every line that goes this direction in the floor plan will go to vanishing point left. 16 feet by 12 feet by 8 feet. So I'm going to start with a line over here. I'm going to go just a little bit off my center this time. And I'm drawing on marker paper with pencil, and I'm going to jump to pen as quickly as I can in this drawing. So I'm going to make a line about a third of the way down my paper, maybe almost to half. I'm going here to say this is my 8 foot, and this is going to be my 0. So halfway up I'm going to say is 4. Get my 6 and my 2 in between those, and then check off 1, 3, 5, 7. Take your 5 foot, look at the top of your page so that you're going horizontally to make a horizon line at the 5 foot eye level. I think I'm going to make my vanishing point here a little bit. No, I'm going to make it right on the page. Make a vanishing point right and a vanishing point left. I'm going to draw from the 8 towards the vanishing point right and 0 towards the vanishing point right. And vanishing point left is going to be much longer because I shifted over to the right. It's going to warp this side a little bit, so I think I am going to move that vanishing point off the page. To do that, I'm going to just take a post-it note. That'll give me another 4 inches over there. So I'm continuing this horizon line horizontally this way. I'm going to make my right vanishing point over here. Then I'm going to go from my 0 and head for this right vanishing point up there, which takes me off the page about here. I think that's better. The reason being that if my vanishing points are too close together, it's going to start warping all the furniture that's on this side of the page. You can also do that with a piece of tape. If you want to take a piece of masking tape, you could attach it to the edge of this. You can tape it right to your desk. You can fold the tape over and come back underneath the other side of the paper so that you have a vanishing point that's off the page that's always moving with your paper. All right, I need to continue these lines off the page in the same direction they were going. My tendency is to bend them, so I kind of take my pencil and get myself something to aim towards. And I want to come out here 16 feet and here 12. So in order to get 16, I'm going to double my 8. So I'm going to take this 8, I'm putting the end of my pencil, actually I'm putting the blue end right against the 8, and then I'm pinching it down here at the 0, and I'm going to double that. So I'm going to put the blue end at the 0. I'm going to make a little mark here, and that's going to be 16. And that's my full pencil from this end to the point. So I'm going to take the full pencil from this 0. I'm going to come out to this point right here. I'm going to say that's 16. Then I come from left vanishing point through that 16 off this direction. Now over here I need to create 12, and I haven't quite figured out how to do that. So I'm going to lay another sheet of paper underneath it because I'm going clear off the page over here. Right? Maybe I do need that masking tape. Because it's just not going to look realistic if I don't figure this out properly. That gives me the opportunity to go way off my page. My page ends right here where the masking tape is. All right, I could take 16 out that direction now and say it's right here. Then I'm going to go from right vanishing point through the 16 this way. I still have to imagine where these are going to meet, because down here at the bottom of my page, these guys are still going way off the page down here. So I'm just going to use my imagination, or I'm going to take these pencils, I'm going to lay them on my paper along those edges so that I can see where they might come together down here on the desk. Then I'm going to swing this towards, once I get these lined up here and I figure out where that's going to be, I'm going to swing this towards that 0 up there. I'm going to make a mark on my page where it comes into the page, and that gives me something to aim towards for my center line coming down that way. These two 16 marks should X across from this one to that one. And that gives me this as the center of a 16 by 16. Now this X here is actually the center of a 16 by 12, right? So this should be 4 feet shorter than that. So yeah, that works. So I need to find 12 in here to actually find, this is not the center of my room. This is the center of a bigger room coming out this way. So that would be out here. So now I need to find 12 along here. I go from this center to the right vanishing point and to the left vanishing point. And that gets me set up here with 8 and 8. If I continue this 8 out this way, and this 8 coming across here, now I have boxes here that I can divide in half. And then this towards right vanishing point. Feels okay there. I'm going to say this is 12. This box should X this way, and then this goes towards right vanishing point to give me 4. I think these two are just about the same, so I have a problem there. Let me check it this other way in just a second. I'm going to get this. That looks like it's getting smaller as it goes back, so that works for me. This line going that way works. Clean this a little bit since I got a little crazy. easy in my direction there. These two should cross, and this would come like that. Yeah, it looks like that needs to come over just a little bit. So I drew this box further out here, and I went from this corner in, and that's going to give me something a little more accurate out here, because this has to get bigger as it comes out. That'll give me my 12 right there at the edge of the paper. And that's as far in as that wall needs to go anyway. So I've got 8 feet to the ceiling. I've got 12 feet out along this floor here. And I've got 16 feet out along this floor here. And that's where my room is going to end. That's all I'm going to draw in there. I've got a built-in shelf that's 24 inches high. It comes over here. Let's set the refrigerator in again. That served us last time. If we come to this 8 foot here, go straight up and down and say that's going to be the center of our refrigerator. Then we come if this is 8 to 4, then I want to come about 1.5 feet. So I'm Xing this box off to find 2. This is 8 to 12, so this is going to give me 2 feet this way. So I'm going to come in, because I want about 1.5 feet, I'm going to come in from here just a little bit. And I'm going to set my fridge here. Last time we said the fridge was 6 feet high, so I'm going to come from 6 feet. Now, do I go to left vanishing point or right vanishing point? Well, the bottom of the fridge goes to right vanishing point, so the top of the fridge also must come away from right vanishing point. So this is the shadow of that refrigerator on the back wall. The footprint comes out here 2 feet, and I said this X right here was going to get me halfway to the 4, so this right here should be 2 feet along here. So here's the front of my fridge coming up here and here. If I connect this corner, here I'm already going, so I come here and I say, look, I've got something going to right vanishing point, I've got something going vertical, it must be related to left vanishing point if I want to come out in space from there. So I'm going to come from left vanishing point from both of these marks. That's going to create the side of the refrigerator and tell me when to stop this mark here. And then when I turn the corner, I've got left vanishing point and vertical, so now I need to head towards right vanishing point again until I hit this mark here. Right? Now to get the center of this, I can come across this 8 here and say that's the center. Certainly that will work. That should also hold true if I X from here to there, and here to there. I can get that accurate. It should land right about the same spot. But the center of the doors, of course, should be pushed this way just a little bit from the actual center of this line, because this door should be smaller than this door. I'll lock this in with pen so I can see it. At least partially. I know there's going to be an island out here, so I don't want to draw the whole thing down in here, because even though I can color over top of it, I'm also not going to do the sides yet, because I know that the cabinets are going to hang down over the side, right? Coming out on this side, I've got a cabinet at 3 feet high, right here. And then a cabinet hangs above it, 18 inches above the base cabinet and 1 foot deep. So this is 24 out this way. I need to come 36 up this way. How do I know where 36 is? I come back here to my ruler. 3 feet is 36. Everything on this wall relates to vanishing point right. I check the floor to see the floor is going to vanishing point right, so that's how I know. I pull away from 3, away from vanishing point right, through that 3, and that tells me this is 3 feet on the wall. I'm also going to use that 3 foot line for that window. This window right here we said started at 3 and went up to 6. So this 6 foot line that I have drawn here and this 3 foot line that I have drawn there are setting me up for my window over here. Since this fridge, we said the shadow came back into here, I'm going to let the window come in here a little and sit right there. Right? So I'm not going to see the whole window. I'm going to see part of it back here that shows out from behind the fridge. If I want to put depth in that, I come here and I say I've got right vanishing point, I've got vertical, so I need to head towards the left vanishing point to get in my third dimension. So there's a little bit of the window behind that. At 2 feet is this built-in shelf. So 2 feet, pull that away from vanishing point right. That's where that shelf is going to meet the wall. It's going to come out into the room at this corner. Every time I turn the corner, I switch vanishing point. So here I'm headed towards vanishing point right. Here I head away from vanishing point left. To get my 2 foot coming out this way. Then I decide how long, and I want it to come out. This is 2 feet here, so I'm going to come flush with the fridge over till it meets the floor. I'm going to walk it up the wall till it meets that line there. And that, then here I've got vanishing point left and vertical. I got to come out from vanishing point right to get the top of that shelf. And then I put a shelf in the middle, right about there. Here I've got to show depth by going from this point towards vanishing point left till I hit the corner. Vanishing point right. Show the top of that shelf. I'm checking this line to make sure I'm not going too far off of that, because it's so close to that it's going to follow pretty much parallel along there. And there's the corner of my room, and here's the ceiling. Like that. All right, back to these cabinets over here. I had a 3 foot line coming this way. Where it hits this back wall here, I'm going to see the top of the cabinet. Then I'm going to come away from vanishing point left because I've got vanishing point right and vertical. So I need to get my third dimension in this way. And then change vanishing points to vanishing point right. That'll show the top of my cabinet starting to form right there. I need to come up to the 4.5 because it's 18 inches above that hangs the other cabinet. So here's 4.5 is going to be there. Come away from vanishing point right along this wall. And it hits right there. So that's where that cabinet's going to start. I'm not going to see underneath this cabinet because my eye level is at 5. I'm going to come away from left vanishing point to find where that sits along the fridge. It's going to be barely lower than that, it looks like. So right here is where this cabinet sits. And then from this point, I need to come away from vanishing point, right? So you can see here I'm drawing in the bottom of the cabinet, but I'm not going to show that because this is going to overlap it. So this cabinet's going to come here and up next to the fridge. And then it's going to come towards right vanishing point as it hangs over the fridge. Then it's going to go straight up and down here. And then I'm going to ask how far. So first I get my direction. Then I say how far. So up here I've got to go up to the ceiling with this cabinet that's above the fridge, right? Well, I got to walk back to the back of the fridge to figure out where that is. So if I come back to this corner where this is lining up, if I walk this down to the floor, this back to the wall, this up the wall, till I hit the ceiling right there, right? Then I come away from vanishing point left, and that's how high this cabinet's going to be. The top of the cabinet goes towards vanishing point right because the bottom of the cabinet goes to vanishing point right, right? So if this is dropping towards vanishing point right here, then this has to drop towards vanishing point right up here as well. So this is the line of my cabinets, and this is the line of my ceiling. My cabinets look a little higher because they're closer to me, the viewer. I'm standing out here. The middle of that's going to be the same as the middle of the fridge, so I'm just going to use that line to divide these cabinets right there. Okay. These cabinets come out this direction until they hit this wall. So that's 16. So this line at the wall comes all the way to here. Then it comes into the room from left vanishing point, 2 feet, so it's going to come out to here. So this line I'm going to see all along there. This, however, is going to have a 2-foot cabinet come out this direction right here. So I want to come 2 feet in this way to find out where that point sits. (12 to 16 is 4 feet. I'm going to split that to find 2 feet right here. Should be half of this and then back a little bit that way, so I'm going to push it in that direction so I'm getting some perspective in there. Don't really trust my X measuring thing here. I'm going to make sure I get things vanishing as they should. So here's 2 feet this direction. I'm going to say this is 2 feet this direction. I have the corner of that cabinet come straight up here to that point. Then this is going to come in that way. I've already got a line there, so I'm just going to use that. Say this cabinet is going to do something like this. This comes out here to about 5, 6, 7, 8 feet. take this 8 feet here, I'm going to walk it over to here and say that's where that cabinet ends. Here I'm going to cross vanishing to vanishing point right, because these both go to vanishing point right. I know these are all parallel. And then this is going to drop down here. And this is going to be the end of the cabinet, also going to vanishing point right. There's a wall here, actually, right? There's a door right here. But I'm drawing this as if this wall was invisible, all right? This cabinet comes out this way. Oh, that upper cabinet I brought out 2 feet. I actually need to bring it back to 1 foot. So I need to cut this in half. And let this come in half of that. So this line should actually be back here. And I should see the fridge going back into it like that. And then this, I'm going to cut back to here. Cut this upper cabinet down a bit. This then is going to have to come back in this direction a little bit too. Halfway between here and there is about there. So I think that should be the end of my cabinet. Alright, so now I'm going to change this. That's going to be my center in here. So my center line for my top cabinet isn't going to be lined up with my center line for my fridge because it's back in here a foot. So I'm going to take these mistakes and I'm going to incorporate them. I'm going to make a little design on this cabinet. That helps me to see what I really wanted to have there. So see how this now gets me into seeing those 2 cabinets? This handle is going to come over here, and that handle I'm going to use, and that handle I'm not going to use. I'm going to make this look like decorative glass, like it's etched or something up there, just to help me and my client see what's going on up there actually. All right. This needs to come back halfway here, cut in halfway here. So this point is where that's going to end. And it's going to come out this direction, hanging out over here, but I don't want to draw that because I want to show this stuff in here. So I'm going to leave that open. And I'm just going to draw these cupboards on this side. Should I just put 2 or 3 in there? If I put 2, it's easier. I can just go across this way and find the center. Put a mark that way. I'm going to go and put the same decoration that I did on those others, so it looks like I meant to. samples in there. If I wanted this to look like glass, I can come in here and moving away from right vanishing point, I can put some shelves in now and then so that you kind of see something through it. Later I can do the suggestion of bottles and pitchers and glasses and whatnot and plates in here. My fridge handles to be at 3 feet. And the island sits on the center X. It sits on the 6. It goes from 5 to 8. So island comes out to here. It looks like it starts here at 5. It's a 6. I'm going to go about there for my 5. I'm going to come out from the refrigerator from vanishing point left. I'm going to go outside of that a little bit further, about a foot, so that I can get an island that sits here. I want it to be 3 feet high. It's lined up with this guy, so I can take this 3 feet here, and I can say it's going to be that high. So it looks like this is where I want my island here. And this is going to head towards vanishing point left. Come back to here. So it looks like the island is going to cover this built-in entirely. This is going to be different because these are only 1 foot. There's a stove top here. So that should be headed towards vanishing point right. And the burners should be horizontally oriented. On this wall over here, there's a door that starts a foot out here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got to go to 6, right? It's got to be 7 feet high. So I'm moving away from vanishing point left because the bottom of the door moves away from vanishing point left. For depth, I go to vanishing point right. I'm not going to see inside of this wood because I'm standing out here, but I am going to see the outside of it. So I can draw that in there. Door handle goes about 3 feet high. That 3 foot's important also because I have a counter coming out of here at 3 feet. I want it to come 2 feet into the room, so this I think is 4 right there. This would be 2 right here. Getting really tall and thin cabinets with this measuring system. But that's 2 right there. And from here I come away from vanishing point left because I've got a right and a vertical. That sets up the top and the bottom. There's a window above that. Everything on this wall moves away from vanishing point left, so this is going to come, I'm going to do that from, can't do 3, I'm going to come up a half, just a little bit, and then I'm going to go up to 6, so it'll be the same height as this window here. Then there's a sink underneath that window, so that should come away from, where's my 5 right there, away from vanishing point right.